Ragnar.
Deny it even if you did.
I did deny it! You fall into that same slumber that everyone else does. You look out into the black void. You see that same leaf extending up in the column of light. And you see it begin to shrivel and wilt. It loses its color, its edge begin to fray and curl. You see the caterpillar on its side and curled into a ball. You see it begin to slowly wither and shrivel into place. And you see that column of light become dim as everything fades into darkness. When suddenly you hear, Ragnar, are you good? As you turn and look, you see a man standing there, his head completely shaved, but he has a thick beard that drops down to his chest. He's wearing just this tunic around his waist that looks like it's made out of probably bear hide, and these fur boots to go along with it. He has these bracers on either wrist, and you see the tail end of a serpent tattoo disappearing into one as he carries a battle axe at his side. You know that man's name. This is Veldor. Veldor is one of the most prominent and strongest fighters in your village. Veldor has always kind of been like a fatherly figure to you in a way. And he has no real like sense of fun outside of fighting. So like if you're like working, he's just there to work. But as soon as you start fighting, that seems to be where he really derives his joy from. Standing across from him with a with both sides of his head shaved and a mohawk that rises up from the middle of his head and turns into a braid that runs down the nape of his neck. He's wearing a vest that's very much made of the same kind of hide armor. He is wearing pants with boots, and he carries with him a warhammer, very similar to what you have. And next to the two of them, you see Drew. The other person's name is Eros. Eros is younger. He's a couple years younger than you and a little more inexperienced, but he is a good fighter and promising up-and-comer in the clan. He has the same kind of serpent tattoo that runs down his arm. And beside the two of them, you see Drew, starry-eyed with his hair cut short. He has a few scars on his lip and across his nose, despite his young age of being only 12 years old. He is hitting that growth spurt where he is almost as tall as you, making him well over the normal height of the other children in the clan. He carries with him a sword that is weighted. It's a great sword, and it's kind of too heavy for him, but he insists on using it. Valdor looks at you and he says, "Are you good?"
Yeah.
You look around, the cold, bitter air of the mountain washes over you as you look out at what looks to be a winter evening. The sky is gray, the trees are void of vegetation, and the ground is that kind of darkened gray. You see crows flying above you, and you hear their caws as you are approaching the village where you have been paid to secure. Valdor says, "Well, let's go. Lead the way."
All right. So I start to head towards the village, leading the way.
He walks a few steps off to one side, and Valdor has allowed you to take the lead in a few missions before, this being no exception, but this is the first time he has allowed your younger brother, Drew, to come with you. Drew is only a few steps behind you, and he knows not to speak unless spoken to. But you can tell he has that boyish excitement of being with his older brother and like experiencing something like this. And so Drew is just kind of doing like a cute little hop behind you as he's holding his sword in both hands. Eros looks down at him and he says, "Put that thing away. We're not using it yet." And he says, "Well, you never know." He says something, a dire bear. He like
Drew
swings it.
Listen.
Yeah. He like straps it back onto his back.
Thank you.
You begin to walk towards the village, and as you approach it, you see a few kind of like farmhouses off to the side that are on the outskirts of the village. The farmhouses look derelict, falling apart, and something you notice, the crows are flying above, but none have landed near or around this area. You see them circling in wide gears, but none of them are on the ground or perched on the trees. You begin to walk towards this village, and you see off to the side a horse laying on the ground, and it looks like it's been completely torn apart. Valdor steps over as he looks down at it. He says, "What do you think, Ragnar?" He says, "Wild animals?" You can roll me a heal check if you'd like.
You don't have that. You have handle animals.
It's untrained. You can roll it untrained. It's a wisdom modifier.
It is?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. 15.
Nice. When you look down at it, your first impression is to say, no, this isn't wild animals that killed this horse, that tore it apart. But as you go to be like, no, it's not that, then you suddenly realize, well, then what could it be? As you look, it looks as if it was ripped, rend asunder, rather than anything sharp like bite marks or claw marks. The only thing that really could have done something like that would probably be like a giant maybe, but it seems like too fine a tear marks, and there seems to be dozens of them.
I'm not sure, but it definitely is not animals.
What do you mean?
I mean, look at the tear marks on it.
He walks to the other side. Eros steps up and he begins to examine it too. Drew looks kind of spooked as he starts to like examine and look around the area.
It's like there's just something tore it apart, but not an animal. Like something wanted to... Wasn't it just wanted to kill it?
When you say that, you see the hollowed chest of this creature heave as you hear it, and air flood into its tattered lungs. The horse begins to make this hideous noise as its vocal cords, ripped and torn, begin to make kind of a higher screech than what a normal horse's whinny would make. Its lips pull back, revealing its teeth. As its eyes open wide, you see it rear up to face you as this black ichor begins to roll from its eyes and mouth. All three of the other men jump back. So like, and it starts to kind of shift as you see it trying to find purchase and even stand.
What in God's green earth? Let's kill it.
Valdor kind of rolls his hammer as he stops. He kind of like takes a step back. Yeah. Kill it, Drew, he says to your younger brother.
Yeah. Show us what you got.
You see Drew is terrified of whatever this is. Do you have knowledge religion?
Will a 10 work?
So, without any trained skill in religion, you look at this horse and you're like, that is an undead horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drew steps up with his his sword. As he gets close to this thing, it looks at him with this kind of otherworldly intelligence. As it goes to stand, and Drew sinks his heavy blade into the horse. The horse gives that last screeching noise before it falls over with a heavy thud, and a spray of that black ichor shoots out and hits Drew across the face and arm. Ah! He steps back. Ah! Valdor begins to laugh as he like looks over Drew, and he says, "You got a little on you, huh?" He says, "It's," and he says, "Hot?" And he says, "No, it's cold." Ah! As he begins trying to scrape it off. Ah!
Cold.
The horse falls limp to the ground with his sword still embedded in its head.
I pull the sword out. And I put it close up to my other hand to see if I can feel like the cold heat come off of it.
You do feel that aura, that chilling aura as it rolls over the blade. You get your hand close to it, almost as if you're like touching dry ice. And it begins to sting and bite at your skin.
It's weird.
He says, sorry, I'll be more careful next time. He says, extending his hand for his sword.
You're fine. I fling it off if I can, like down to the side, and then hand it back to him. You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You gonna cry?
No. It just surprised me is all.
That's what they usually say on their first time. Let's go.
You begin to walk towards the village, and as you do so, it is eerily silent. The village is completely void of people or animals, and more than that, there's no sign of any activity whatsoever. The doors are shut, the shutters are locked. You don't see, discarded tools or overturned wagons or anything like that. The area is simply void. You begin to head down the main street of this village, just kind of looking from side to side as you do so. Eros says, "Where is everybody? There's nobody here."
That is weird. Veldor, it did say that they needed...
His character's over there. Is that what you look at all those characters and be like, none of these are the right one?
And it's still kind of not
Nah, that's close.
Do what now?
right.
He's like, it's still not kind of the right one. It's a...
Oh,
Because it's a wizard.
wizard token.
I said, Veldor, you did say that this village did send out a help request for a monster, correct?
He nods. He says, "Aye. It was a few days ago." He says as he looks around, "Maybe they evacuated."
Did it give a specific to the type of creature?
No, they said that there was something eerie in a cave, it was the words. A sound, a noise nearby. They said they thought something was taking up residence and all we'd have to do is clear it. I suggest we find the cave. Maybe we'll find out what's chased all these people off.
Yeah, maybe it scared them out of town for a bit.
Drew says, "There's somebody." You see a door open up as you see a middle-aged man step out of his house. He's wearing just kind of a cambric shirt, regular trousers. He's barefoot, and his feet look like they're tattered. Like they have long since been rubbed raw and are bleeding as he walks out onto the cold, frozen ground. He takes a few steps as he looks at you with these pitch black eyes. That same ichor rolling down both ends of his eyes, out of his nose and down his ears.
What?
Drew takes a step back. It's like the horse. Maybe he's undead, Drew says as he holds his sword.
Maybe. Sir! No response.
He tilts his head regarding you.
Do you know of the request to get rid of this sound for the village?
Yes, he says in just a plain voice. Another door opens as you see yet another villager step out. We sent for that a couple days ago. She has the same blackness in her eyes and rolling down as you see maybe a dozen people begin to file out from alleyways and doorways. It only took an evening for this to happen. They say it as they wipe away the ichor on their face.
Are y'all okay?
Of course we are. You hear from behind you as you spin in place, and you see them beginning to close in around you as you are surrounded by probably 24 of these villagers. As a matter of fact, we're so okay, I'd like to share.
Guys, I think something's going on. Be ready.
Baldor says, yeah, no joke. He says as he puts his back up against yours and he gets ready to fight. Drew takes his sword and it's more like he's pointing it at them as he kind of shifts in place from side to side. Eros also continuing the flank as you stand all back to back, looking at all four corners as these people begin to converge on you. And I will need an initiative roll from the party. Not the party. Just from Ragnar and his party.
Oh, yeah.
Using a common stat, I got a 12.
What? That's...
Or are we playing the bad guys?
You're not gonna believe what I rolled for initiative.
11?
It's an 11.
Is it really?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's sad.
It's on your line.
I said in my head, it'd be funny as crap if I rolled an 11 for initiative. It's not, but it is.
Funny or 11?
No. That's not what I said. Is that what I said?
Valdar steps up, right? As he says, listen. He looks over all of them as they all in unison strike the same pose and all tilt their head at the same angle as if, what do you have to say? He says, whatever's infecting this town, we may be able to cure it. If you have enough wherewithal to step back, we don't have to kill you all and we can save you. Eros kind of says, I think they're beyond listening as he grips his weapon and gets ready to fight. So much so my accent disappeared. Anyway.
Holy snap.
I mean...
The people begin to surround and they suddenly charge, flooding over all of you. As in a moment, whether you swing out with your weapon or not, you feel dozens of hands begin to reach out, claw into you, and begin to tear away at you.
I've never seen a human swarm.
we have.
What's that?
It's where you keep up your sleeves.
Oh, okay.
I hate everything. I hate everything always.
Can you do more damage to shit?
Like 2?
Oh god.
Handfuls? What did you roll?
Oh god!
You take 24 points of damage.
Are you unconscious?
That's almost 23.
As these things swarm you and begin to rip and tear into you. You see your companions turn as they begin just swinging into this horde. As they reach out and kind of extend their arms to grab hold of you, Valdar takes his weapon, crushing into one skull. As one bites on his neck, he grabs it, throwing it to the ground as he stomps, and you see that black ichor wash over him, and you hear that searing burn noise as he and he tries to wipe it off of his face. You see Eros swing, knocking one off of its feet, just completely taking its leg out. As he slams into it on the ground, 2 more jump onto him, and you see their teeth sink into his arms as he screams out in pain. What do you do?
Do I see a way where we can try to get out of this mayhem?
Not without a fight.
Oh, okay. So there's no way to run away, try to get them to come with?
Not with mundane means, no.
No. So I guess we'll start fighting.
You can do that if you
And
like.
we're gonna have to. So I'm going to take
And what weapon are you using?
I'm using a warhammer.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be just straight attacking 24.
24 will strike your opponents.
And then 22.
22 points of damage?
No, 22 to a hit.
Oh, 22 will also strike your opponents.
Assuming I'm gonna kill the whole thing. 13 damage and 12 damage.
You only have 2 attacks? Okay. How much was it altogether?
25.
25. You take your warhammer, you swing into one of their chests, you bring him completely off of his feet as you hear that deep, resonating thud. He comes off its feet and flies back. You see that same ichor expel from its mouth as it hits the ground and rolls. Another one runs up to claw at you as you grab it by the arm and throw it to the ground. As one reaches out and grabs you, you just straight up headbutt it, sending it straight to the ground before you just crush its head in with your warhammer. I am you
I got you.
in reverse.
Oh no.
I like that.
11 damage. 66, and I rolled 11 damage.
2d6.
Hell yeah.
This is 3 5s. It was stupid.
One of the creatures is running at you. As it runs towards you in a flash of metal and a singing sound, you see its head is liberated from its body as Drew sinks his sword into the ground, turning around and wildly swinging into the crowd. You see them all kind of take a half a step back as he's just screaming and swinging his sword back and forth, trying to keep them at bay, and they're just biding their time, waiting to be able to get to him. They reach out, and you see them tearing into Valdor and Alros, who are holding their own against the horde. What do you do?
I'm going to try to assist where Drew is at and see if I go up to him and I'm like, let's try to make a hole so we can all get out of this. Like, get out of it. The whole thing. And proceed to attack.
You bet.
Try.
That's a nat 1.
Oh no!
And then the second one is 19.
19? 19 will strike your opponent.
Then that will be 13 damage.
Okay. Taking your warhammer, you kind of buckle down. You try to move forward, but their bodies just kind of coalesce onto you and push you back. As they do so, you take your warhammer, you bring it up, and you hear that same crunch of bone as you just swing and knock kind of the first one away and disperse the other half dozen back as you begin to try to make headway. You hear this scream as suddenly Eros is dropped to the ground, and you see 3 of them grabbing onto his arms as they pull him into the alleyway to the side. He is screaming and flailing as he's trying to fight back, and he disappears into the alleyway. Valdor takes your lead as he watches Eros disappear, but he knows he can't pursue him. He looks to you as he runs up beside you and swings into the horde the same time that you are, Drew having your back as the 2 of you begin to spearhead into the crowd, and Drew keeping them from hitting you in the back.
And that's what we're going to continue to do until we can kind of...
Depends on how much damage you do this round.
Yeah. This time I'm going to...
Oh my god.
No, that's 18 though.
18 will strike your opponent.
And 28.
28 will also strike your opponent.
Oh no.
That's 18 damage.
Oh no.
And 15 damage.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
33. 23. 33.
With hammer in hand, you send one of them just flipping over itself as you crash into its skull. You swing into another one, hitting it dead in the body as it spins and hits the ground. You kind of keep your eyes closed as you push through them. Valdor on your back pushes you through like he physically keeps shoving you into these bodies. You feel them tearing into you, but you just keep doing what you do. As he pushes through, you see Valdor turn, he looks at the situation and he kind of, and you see his muscles begin to swell and bulge. The air around him blurs as his eyes go white. He runs past you as he just starts swinging into this crowd with reckless abandon. You see body parts and people flying in different directions as he does so. Drew takes a step back, and you see him, and he begins to focus as you see him begin to bulk and swell as well. The group begins to swarm your little brother, and then suddenly you see a flash of blade as 3 of them fall into more than one piece. And he just screams out as that same blackness rolls over him. What would you like to do?
Does it look like there's still a whole bunch of... Does it look like there's still a whole bunch of these things?
More than half.
I will also... I would like to rage.
How to get hints from the DM.
I would like to rage.
Well, there's a reason.
It's almost as good as season 2.
I'll also be power attacking through this while trying to...
Raging and power attacking?
Yeah. That's a thing I do.
That's a poor, that poor guy.
37.
That will strike.
That's sad face.
24.
That will also strike.
He probably was one away from the
Well, so, yeah.
with the 37.
19 damage and 20 damage.
Okay. In that moment, you kind of bowl them over, right? Knocking them to the ground. You see the ones that are twisted and mangled, they kind of snap and pop as you see their bones start to reset and their wounds begin to heal. As they push on the ground in an attempt to stand, your brother swings his sword around and begins to stab into the ones on the ground, screaming as you see the blood shooting up on him over and over. Valdar reaches back, grabbing your brother by the scruff of his vest as he pulls him, and the 3 of you begin to run through town. These things pursuing you. Where would you like to go?
Well, forward until we can find somewhere to try to hide. I would assume there's nothing.
You begin to move through this town, this group following you, right? As you dart out past the buildings, you run to what looks to be kind of a sheer bluff of rock. There's very little vegetation on it, just a few kind of scraggling pines that are growing out and finding purchase in the few rock outcroppings. As these rocks rise up, almost like a towering monolith that overshadows the village in its entirety.
I go, the cave. Let's go fix this problem so hopefully they'll return to normal.
Valdar kind of scans the area. Drew shakes his head as you see him. He looks, he says, "There!" He points, and you see the opening mouth of the cave.
Book it.
You begin to run, making your way to that gaping maw of a cave. You get to that entrance. Valdar slides to a stop as you see the people stop just on the edge of town and look at all of you. Your brother is facing all of them as you and Valdar run to the mouth of the cave. He is staying like an uncomfortable 30 feet away from all of you. Drew is.
Drew, come on.
His back to you as he slowly turns to look at you, and you see his eyes are completely pitch black. You see that same ichor rolling down his face, and that same malicious smile that is shared by the rest of the villagers as he turns to face you. He says, "Ragnar." He says in a voice that feels so familiar. You've heard it before, but it chills you to your very core. You hear from behind you, echoing through the cave, "What's the matter, Ragnar?" You hear that kind of jostles you and makes you turn to face the cave. And when you do so, you see that Valdor is gone. When you spin back around, your brother and those people are around you, and I mean immediately so, within arm's reach. You feel them kind of growing closer and closer, and you feel yourself begin to shrink away, like in every sense of the word, as the world around you becomes claustrophobic, collapsing in around you, and that same chilling sensation begins to cut into your core. You open your eyes. You find yourself in the cage, in the grotto, surrounded by pirates, but the sun hasn't risen yet. In the opening mouth of the cave that looks out across the bay, you see it is still dark. You hear the gentle waves lapping up, and you are greeted with just this silence until you hear something speak to you, something that jostles you in surprise from inside the cage.
He reminds you a lot of Drew, doesn't he?
When you turn, you see yourself standing just over Perry, who is still sound asleep. Except this version of you has that black sheen over his eyes, the same ichor rolling down his face, and his body seems contorted, twisted in some way, making you think that what you're looking at is some kind of sick pseudo-doppelganger that has assumed your likeness.
What are you?
Why, Ragnar!
I will also take a step forward as well.
You don't recognize me? I'm you. But I'm all the best parts of you, Ragnar. I'm what kept you alive back then. I am what got you out of that village. I'm what kept your arm when the rest of your clan turned on you and tried to kill you.
He presents the arm, pulling down those bandages and showing the tattoo.
Yes, that reminder of what you thought was your family, Ragnar, when they turned on you and left you all alone. I was there, helping you. I helped you when the bandits attacked. I helped you in the Cobalt Cave. And then, ever since we scared poor little Perry, you have been ignoring me!
You have not helped me.
Oh, but I have, Ragnar.
No.
Hasn't it been kind of strange how quickly you've been healing from your wounds? The fact that you have these small little talents that you've never noticed before that only seem to be getting stronger as time goes on. That's me, Ragnar.
No, I look around as if there's got to be somebody casting a spell. I was like, this can't be real. This is something sinister.
He reaches up and he lays his hands on your face, that ichor rolling down you as if it's pouring from the very orifices of his fingernails.
He says, "It is real, Ragnar." It is, and you need to embrace it. We can be more powerful if you'll just accept what we are. I can protect you. More importantly,
His arm, you hear it pop and crackle, as from the wrist, the knuckles of his fingers, the bend of his elbow and his shoulder pops and extends out 10 feet and reaches over Perry, barely touching him.
we can protect him.
Do not touch him.
We can be this group's defender. Something you were never given when you were just a little boy, Ragnar. But you've aspired to be so strong, and now you have it.
if this is real, if what you're saying is accurate, then I have to get rid of it.
Really? And how would you do that, Ragnar? Because I have a secret. We are the same, you and I. I'm not a separate being that you can simply discard. Some scraps on a plate to feed to a dog. I am you, Ragnar. And if you want to kill me, you'd have to kill yourself. Give us a chance, Ragnar.
He starts to walk around you.
Rage. Next time you have the opportunity, don't hold it back. Don't hide what we are. Rage. And show them what you're truly capable of.
From what you're saying, that would be what you're
What we're capable of.
I don't know you're not going to hurt me.
He puts his finger on your chest.
Cross my heart and hope to die.
It's not fun.
You'll just have to trust me, Ragnar, because there's no getting rid of me.
You suddenly jolt awake, and this time it is me.
Some parlor trick and echo we have in Louisiana.
Nothing to worry about.
Yes.
You old man didn't even waste my time.
I don't know how much of that we can sing.
That's it. We have hit the limit.
I think we might have hit the limit before I said anything. Like, it was intense.
I wanted to look at Shane and go, well, go on, kick your ass.
I considered taking a swing at it.
You shut up, or I'm going to kick my ass so hard. A madman, Your Honor. A pathetic fool at the end of this pitiful road.
It seems like a bit.
But what?
Bit too much.
So, as you all begin to awake, arise and stir in your own little newfound home,
That's Isaac waking up. It's just like,
Damon, you wake up feeling fresh and rested.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
As opposed to right.
Oh boy! That's the best sleep I've had in years!
Oh my gosh.
The rest of the group is like... You are a little put off by the vision that you've had. But even then, you're like, that was weird, and you kind of like try to shake it away, right? But aside from that, physically you feel fine. You look around at your companions. Dr. Tone, I imagine, is sitting there, and he would wake up with a kind of look on his face. Perry would kind of slowly stir and open his eyes with like a...
Have more questions.
Yeah, we're
than
like,
ever
I didn't
before.
answer anything. Manzarek with a new look of determination on his face, and Ragnar would jolt up in like a cold sweat. What do you want?
Morning already?
yeah.
Real quick, I'm not saying this. Is anybody like still suffering ability damage?
You're definitely saying this.
No, because the spell, it wears off when you get a long rest.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah. So everybody's back to normal.
So we take a rest, basically?
Yeah. Basically.
You need to remember not to be on that version of me.
Yeah.
It's a powerful trap, but it's easily cured. That's kind of its like exchange.
It depends on what you're talking about. The physical or the mental abilities.
I didn't say that out loud.
Sure.
I specifically said what I said.
I'm answering a question I asked myself.
So the mental.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
I was like, role play. Y'all are like, nah.
We need to see the therapist first.
I look over at
Delaney is having trouble.
I look over at Ray Otto and I'm just like
The determination to slap a raptor that can eat you.
Slapped her.
we have
Slap
things to
her.
do.
Slap route.
You can sneak through like the bars because you said I could.
Because you told me to.
Do I need to roll anything for that?
Yeah, roll me escape bars. Because you still need to squeeze.
23.
So you walk up to the bars and you're like, you get like your canteen and you're like, and you suddenly become moist through your skin. You're like,
Get on the other side.
Neat trick.
Ray Otto just kind of like, have you seen that video of the border collie that walks through the dog fence and it looks like he phases through it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's C1000. Just
Yeah, because he like walks through, gets a ball, turns around, walks through again, and they're like. So Ray Otto kind of does that. He's just like,
I immediately thought of the rhino, the baby rhino.
oh, yeah.
Like the most dangerous animal. Oh my god!
So I personally built this enclosure. Oh my god. The frog and the raptor are out.
Alright. Harry, I need you to give me a quick
as a matter
lesson on how to pick a lock.
I imagine you're just kind of like, he's on the other side of the bars.
Why do you not know how to pick a lock? You seem like the kind of person that picks locks.
That's
Offended
offensive.
by that.
You shouldn't be. I
But
feel
also,
like
here's
I've
what
seen
you
you
do.
done other things.
I can help him pick the lock. You hear from the cat folk that's watching you from the lock.
God, that's not scary at all. Can you pick a lock?
I can.
Or do you lock?
Yeah, sure.
You have
He jumps down. He produces a key.
Well, thank you.
That was a whole lot easier than I thought it was.
I was just like, he can go like this to everybody.
As you do that, you see the gnoll walk up, followed closely by the tiefling.
Okay.
And to your surprise, you see the serpent folk that you had seen during the council walking with them. The gnoll steps up and she goes, oh, and she like produces her battle axe. She goes, they're escaping. She looks up at the cat folk. They're escaping, right? And he goes, I think so. You should probably kill them.
Here we go.
The tiefling says, stop. And she's like frustrated, right?
No, I see it. I'm like, wait. I want to see how this plays out.
No.
Dr. Tone's just like, get him!
That's funny.
I didn't sleep too well. I needed about 4 more hours.
It's too early for this. The serpent food. Give me just a sec.
I will look at her and see if she is a wizard. A wizard.
That's not Thesmeralda, is it?
A wizard lizard?
Is that Thesmeralda? No, it's the tiefling.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thesmeralda is the tiefling.
Yes.
Meryl?
A wizard. No, Meryl is the human captain.
Okay.
Doing the struggle bus on his name, so it's not
Yeah.
like there's a million of them.
As he pulls up an entire page and a quarter.
How about you mind your own business? Zeltilrum. Zeltilrums.
If you sacrifice a lot,
Because you say
Oh,
he
yeah.
and I correct you to
does
the
that make
she.
it tragic magic?
Tear them.
I have the name right.
It's spelled with an X, by the way.
I have
Is
a
there-
lot of letters on this page and I don't
Sort
see
of
where an X can go at all.
holding the skull.
The skull looks at Zeltilrum. She looks and she goes,
Yours?
the tiefling and the boy. We want to speak with them. The tiefling says,
Just us?
yes.
What
Okay.
for?
Thesmeralda says,
There's
the
sense
tiefling
motive.
and the boy. You may.
Because sure.
One
Sounds like
ensure that it's not in
a
danger.
wise thing to do.
I just wanted to
I thought that was a 1.
24.
That's a 15.
I don't worry about me.
Okay.
I asked what for.
With your sense motives, they are not in trouble. The fact that Thesmerella has come here with another spellcaster, and she's like bringing her and was like, we need to talk to you two. It seems like they're very curious and they need something. And the fact that they were like, we want to talk to them. They're not torturing you. They didn't bring you out by force. And this catfolk guy just opened the cage for you. So you very much feel like you are strongly encouraged to be guests here more than captives.
Right.
So,
Sure.
you say what for?
Yeah.
Zelvirium. Zeltirium. I need to make easier names.
You need a
Zal.
pronunciation guy.
Zal.
Her name is Zal. Zal looks at you. She says, we just asked a few simple questions to ask. And
He's missing a job.
she produces the job.
Is it the same Jawbone we saw that did the recording?
She pushes the molar, and it has that same conversation with him.
There goes Mouthy Mouth again.
I am pushing them.
Where is the back from?
I try to stay out of here as often as possible.
When she says that, you see that Thesmerella's expression kind of like melts when she says, I try to stay out of here as much as possible, and Thesmerella.
Is Thesmerella the one that we saw that was in that me and Perry saw?
No. Thesmerella is the tiefling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meryl's the one that you guys saw.
No, correct. But is the serpent
Xal is the serpent folk that you saw at the meeting. So there are 2 people that were at that meeting that are in this cage.
With pirates.
Yeah. And I would ask about it.
Define pirate.
I'm like, you're the second person that we've seen. I gesture towards Perry, have seen that was in with Lord Ragnar.
She raises her hand. No, we aren't. She says.
Oh, yeah. These come off.
They drop.
Okay,
Just
give me
says
one
on
of
mine
those.
too.
Yeah.
Can you feel much? No, I'm offended.
She says, firstly, I don't see any reason for those need to stay on. Because we want to build a snare of trust. Also, you're not much of a threat. If you'll please walk with us.
If they go to room, you would all like to
I'm.
No. She says.
I say this out loud. I'm not much of a threat as I used to be.
I feel inadequate.
Based on. Anyways.
The cat folk rests his elbow on the top of your head. He said, oh, poor Frog is denied. He kind of like, as he moves back, Rihanna bites him on the upper thigh. He's like, yeah.
Good job, Rihanna.
He knows defend.
Are we
He
to
does, actually.
be able to
Is that a new trick or is it the same?
not be within the confines of this lovely hotel room?
Give us a few minutes. Depending on how this conversation goes, may depend on where you stay for the rest of the day. I got you. We're gonna get up on
I settle back down. on
He
the
said
straw
to
and
get you a
com-
5-star hotel.
I settle back down on the straw and get comfortable.
We're
Rats
still
run
looking
out.
for magic food. That's a thing.
Mozart shows up.
He played.
Yes.
I got the
There's
joke.
a piece called Magic Flute.
Everything about that was awesome. Made me so
Mozart
happy.
played piano, you dumbass. Anyway.
I made a joke.
Harpsichord?
Any hooters. You two step off to the side. The rat folk and the gnoll are just kind of like looking at you. The gnoll steps up. Are they really escaping? I don't know. Are they? The rat folk, the cat folk looks at you.
I'd rather not be in a cage. but I don't have any plans to do.
I'm conflicted, she says. He goes, that's a big word for you.
I can sit and talk if you would like, but I'd rather not be here today.
Oh god.
Do those like frog flesh?
Frog flesh?
Do hyenas eat frogs? This is now a real question.
I would assume hyenas eat anything.
That's
they
what
want.
Why did that come up as?
Why was that the first thing that came up? Do hyenas eat lions? What's the first thing that came up?
Cause Lion King?
Also, hyena, however big you think a hyena is, they're bigger. Hyenas are huge.
They're puppy dogs.
They are cats.
They're not either of those things.
No, they're closer to a cat than a dog.
There's something in between.
They're like cat nines.
They have more in common with a feline.
But both
cat
are
eat
not.
frogs.
I mean, like, no, I've got internet confirmation.
We got you.
Captured.
Yes, Amos.
I do sit up a little bit straighter as they start to water. I says, I need to speak with my sister. Where is she?
The knoll kind of steps up. Your sister? Who's the sister? Looks at the cat book. Cat book goes, you know, the pink thing we ate last night. Can't you see this family resemblance? She goes, and she says, you're bacon? The cat book goes, it's funnier if you go with it.
Not amused.
I don't know who your sister is.
The red-headed one.
Oh, that's your sister?
Yes.
Oh, the rich girl.
Yes.
Oh, you don't know, he says.
Know what?
Oh, he shuts the gate. He locks it. Oh, this is great. He
No,
walks
get
up.
back here.
No, I'm good.
Get back here!
Mm-mm.
I'm pissed.
Do either of you know how to pick a lock? I'm still out.
Do either of you know how to puck a lick?
I rear back and I kick it.
I don't know how to get you two out.
Are you still on the outside?
Oh, yeah. I never went back in. Me and Rayana were just chilling right beside the gate. Just like, well, I'm not going anywhere.
They take you two off to the side. You see Meryl sitting on top of several water barrels, and she's smoking a pipe, looking down at both of you as if she's waiting for this meeting to occur. Xal steps to the side as Thesmerella kind of flanks her, and they both turn to regard you like concerned parents, you feel. Xal says, first off, I have to commend you for your boldness to just simply step into our meeting and demand to see High Lord Mayor Hawthorne. But what's happening here is far too important to be jeopardized by a child who's lost in the woods.
Best time ever to
I haven't ate my rations this meeting. Leave me alone.
How did this turn into ASMR?
Come for the TTRPG. Stay for the ASMR.
That's my nightmare.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you gave us all nightmares.
I'm sorry.
Now you get
Keep
one.
going. I am interested. I just, this is
And
literally-
hungry.
This is literally dinner.
You need a better dinner.
She says, but what we're going through is far too serious and important to be jeopardized by a lost child.
So what is Lord Mayor Hawthorne's intent? What was happening before the meeting?
And why do you feel entitled to know that? Meryl asks. They're talking to you like an adult. Like, they are standing on equal ground with you, which feels odd.
Mm-hmm.
Both of you can roll me a sense motive if you'd like.
Sounds like a no over there.
Let's see what an average
18.
roll gets you. With an 18?
13, by the way.
Okay. You feel like they're doing it out of respect, but with ulterior motives. There's something going on. You know they want something from you. That's the only reason they're talking to you right now, but you don't know what you could possibly have that they would want. Play it back. To be jeopardized, too important. What's going on?
What do you think
What
is
are your
so
intentions?
important that you walked into a meeting you're supposed to get scheduled for ahead of time?
Well-
and you just marched.
Just the state of my home. I feel like that's pretty important.
What kind of state is your home
Despair, plague, nightmarish things happening. I don't know.
in? Tell me about it. In as much detail as you can muster.
Okay.
Do you do that?
I do that thing. Yeah, I can.
You can if you'd like, but
Yeah. Yeah.
she ponders on it for a moment.
With my new levels and my sort of now new knowledge, can I roll a knowledge check to see if I know this grouping are common?
The planes, they know stuff.
It's not high score. Never mind, it's not. Clueless this
Is it a
already.
1?
Not a 1!
Okay.
It's 2 points higher than me.
Oh boy.
So 4.
That's it.
Try that again!
That's it. Math rocks.
I have the have to.
So what was it that Lord Mayor was trying to do before I came? Like he was trying to just from the other participants, it sounded like you were ready for battle or at least defensive attack.
No. Simply defending our own borders against what may come to be.
Roll me another sense motive.
I'm completely
Cool.
That sounds legit.
She says, we don't want what happened to your kingdom to happen to ours.
But you didn't know what happened to my kingdom.
And that's why we need to learn. We've been in constant communication with your kingdom. When they fell into silence, we knew something was wrong. Now we have this information. If there truly is an outbreak, we need to prevent it from spreading.
If I may, just simply ask a question. Perry, or anyone, how far away is his kingdom? I don't even know what kingdom you're from.
His kingdom. I have it out.
Consult.
Ambrose.
Ambrose from Drimport is. Is it?
You have said before. I think it was a week or two travel.
I think it was a week travel from where you were, which was on the caravan. Now it's 2 weeks travel
Okay.
from Drimport. You are farther from it than you bring us over.
Did you?
But that is by foot.
Did you walk here?
No. We rode on a caravan here together. Well, he was
Who was for Drimport? To Drimport. From the village.
So how did you get to the caravan that's a week's travel away?
Oh, I teleported.
You teleported
I was teleported.
by.
Everyone is intensely interested in what you have to say right now.
Not me.
Facetious.
Hey Perry, I want to help your village as much as everyone else does.
I don't feel like it's a lot.
You look at these people.
Yeah.
You are actively trying to help your village? Uh-huh. Let me rephrase. I want to help your village. Why are you not telling me the full truth and nothing but the truth?
So
You cast a 5th level spell.
I did not cast
Who did?
my father.
Okay. Your father teleported you to the caravan stop.
I think he might have been trying to get me here, like to Drimport, but missed.
I look at the fellow guard. Why would the mayor of Ambrose? I don't know below restrictions.
Oh,
Sure. Why would the king of Ambrose be teleporting his royal prince to...
My dad's not the king. That's silly.
I woke up 2 weeks ago. I don't know what you want from me.
question, Meryl says. Who is your father? Why is this important and why is it relevant?
My father is Alvaria Maris.
You see that Xal looks like she recognizes that name.
She's not.
She takes a step towards you. She reaches for your glasses.
Thank you.
She takes a
He
step.
was one of the head advisors and mage for.
One of the most powerful spellcasters in the entire kingdom, in the entire southern region, as a matter of fact.
That's interesting to
Oh,
know.
you're serious.
She says.
You didn't get out too much.
He just provided services for like prestidigitation.
Her father was a protector of the land. In fact, part of one of the most powerful Pathfinder groups I've ever seen.
Why was he sending his son to Lord Murdoch?
That is an interesting question. But an even more interesting question is why are you here? Here specifically.
To seek an audience with Lord Marilyn.
Yes, which you have gotten. Why are you here?
Oh, what's his name? The kid, the black sheep.
No, hold on.
No, Quan. Sent us on a mission to acquire magical loot.
An old flute of a barkeep.
From who?
It was supposed to
Jew?
be in the crypt.
And it's not. Why are you here?
We were just traveling down. Right.
Well, then the druid recognized the description of a red folk that came down the tunnels. We started chasing the tunnels, and it was just a thing.
Oh, you're looking for the rat folk, Meryl says.
Well, the druid is.
I mean, that'd be great if we could find him.
Do you know where he is?
As a matter of fact, I do. She says, after some short thought, she jumps down. Zal kind of like looks at her like, what are you doing? She says, and even better so, I'm going to help you.
Uh-huh. Why am I here, by the way?
She says, you're here because you have, Zal says, my familiar.
Oh,
She says, if I may.
sure. I don't see why he was... Is that no?
That's yes.
Why is he in the sewers?
Because he deserves to be.
Are you going to send him back to the sewers?
No. Well, yes.
Then a question for you, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
Now show her a black brand tattoo. Do you know what that would be?
A tattoo.
Because he does.
Is that so? She like takes him. She puts him in her satchel.
He's useless to me without the Jolo.
Zal turns and looks at Meryl. Meryl says, I think it would be in everybody's interest if you found your rat footprint. He's been... She says, your druid is the one looking for him? Let's go talk to them. She puts her hands on both of y'all's back and begins to lead you back towards the cage. Zal is like, when did I lose control of this? She leads you back to the cage. She says, Zoltan, release them. The cat folk says, oh goody. He says, I don't know what this means.
Was
Let me
that as
set
much
about
fun with permission?
it." He opens the gate.
I immediately jumped to my feet.
He looks at the knoll. Sick him! Meryl says, don't sick him. She says, it has been brought to my attention that you gentlemen are seeking a certain rat folk. I happen to know where he is, and I can help you on your little journey to find him.
Yes, please.
she says. However, there is something I need to ask of you. A quid pro quo.
Last time we had a big quo.
We ended up here.
Yeah, actually.
Kind of ruined my day.
She says, firstly, there's a section of the sewers that we used to own. It's very, very dangerous, and we only traveled through it whenever we needed to. However, a small blue kobold and his human friend showed up and talked a dozen of my men into following them to this section of the cave. They promptly collapsed the passageway connecting it to our cave, and we cannot pursue them. There is a way, however, to go thereafter, and I will show you that, if you agree to bring him to justice for what he has done, stealing my men. My men are a resource, and he has taken those from me. Whether you bring him back here, dispose of them yourselves, that's fine.
The
Whatever you
druid,
say.
the kobold, or the other guy?
The kobold, specifically.
Oh!
He seems to be the mastermind, she says.
Not the mysterious.
He did what the kobold said. I'm only telling you what I've said. She says, and she produces the skull. You see Xal go. She says, and as a sign of good faith, she looks to Xal. Xal kind of hands her the jawbone. I will let you take Fern with you. He knows a lot about Arcana and spellcraft, and he'll be able to help you. Does that sound fair?
How annoyed is Bern with this?
The blue kobold is Thrim.
Sure. I don't know.
Have you made it back to all of us? And that's
Yeah, this conversation's happening in front of the cage.
And when we return, if we had to stay another night here, our accommodations will be better.
Of course, she says. If you return from your little adventure, safe and sound and in one piece, she says, your accommodations will be better, and perhaps I'll be more inclined to answer your questions. Truthfully, she says, you see Xal kind of like she's getting frustrated with Meryl and how she's leading all of this. Fair enough, she says.
If this leads to Durham,
Sure, you'll get your Darum, whatever that is.
the rest.
The rat folk, because he seems to be making just as much of a commotion down here as the kobold. She says, the fewer people in my sewer, the better.
Do you know what this food is?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
We'll go find the food as well. I guess.
I hate owing people favors. Great problem. It's my least favorite thing to do.
And if we
Place
don't do
is
this
not
for
in a
you,
grave.
just so we know all of our options.
She says, well, firstly, if you don't do this for me, then you have nothing to gain out of it, which would be real sad. However, I can't hold you here. You'd be free to go. I can take you back to the surface myself if you don't want to do it.
I have nothing else better to do.
And Tamris.
I'll see if I can't get her to talk to you when you get back. Maybe she'll be more inclined to talk to her big brother.
Are you holding her down here?
Against her will? Of course not.
Why is she?
I suppose that's
Why are all of you down here? What is going on with this place?
You see she visibly becomes perturbed by that question, and Xal also becomes very perturbed by that question. Xal says, that's private information. One will be more inclined to share with you when you return. Forgive her. It's a delicate situation. One that we don't want a whole lot of people to know about, and the fact that you five know about it is concerning. But we'll be more inclined to trust you if you do this one measly small favor for us. That also helps you.
And your resources, they know that you also attend the High Council?
No. and we prefer to keep it that way. We're more known in the High Council than we are down here.
We need to talk to this kobold anyway. I say let's go track him down.
What
If
is this
anything, just for that.
man with him?
And with him.
The man with him is very
How do you know what?
I remember how he knows.
How do you know?
I was right next to you.
He had
And you
goats
saw
coming out of
all
his
the
balls.
shiny stuff?
I mean, yeah. His
Why does
outfit
the man
was
with such
custom
wealth
tailored.
follow a kobold?
That's the question.
Among many that we're gonna ask him. Politely at first.
I know too much man knowledge, so I'm trying not to metagame right now. Real hard.
She says, well, as much fun as this is, I would like you all to get a head start.
Sure.
So unless there's no other relevant
Do
questions.
you have,
Is this relevant?
yes. I remember some things I can do. I just need an alchemy skill. A portable one, preferably.
I'll try to get you one on your way back.
In our events.
Return to you, of course.
Before.
She turns to look at the knoll. The knoll goes. The knoll goes. There's stuff.
Oh, right.
She walks off.
Sharp as a spoon.
Spoons aren't sharp.
She comes back.
You should go with her.
You get his stuff, you get his stuff, you get yours.
Yeah. That makes sense. It smells like small. That's weird.
Hammer.
Alright.
Just
Then we shall
Let's
go.
Let's
Which
leave.
way?
She says, follow me. She takes you off to the side. You follow this passageway that kind of zigzag and serpentines through the rock, kind of squeezing and making your way through. It opens up into a chamber that is half built into stone and half with a massive drain in the center of this kind of natural formation. You see in the middle of this drain, there is what looks to be a perpetual whirlpool that is spinning. And above it, is another pipe that looks like it would dump liquid into this whirlpool to send it away. She says, now, you'll have to take my word for it, but this leads to where you need to go, she says with a smile. But don't fret. It's just a simple pipe. You follow the pipe to where it goes. Make sure you hold your breath. It's not that long. And then you will emerge on the other side of where you need to be.
Sense motive.
You may.
Good bless.
Holy shit. That was smart.
That
Play-
one.
Playing my other guy, like 15, 16, 17s, go back to Dr. Isaac. 5, 4.
3, 2, 1.
20.
Blast off. 18 total.
Neither one. What'd you get?
That one.
Nat 1. So, that whirlpool right there, that is a natural occurring jacuzzi. You were like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the greatest thing, and especially with how good of a sleep I had, this is going to be wonderful. There is no diseases in that water, and it is going to be nothing but a fun little experience.
Oh, it drains directly from the River Seine.
24 doesn't do anything?
I'm not done.
Oh, okay, cool.
What's the
You started with, you two don't do anything. No, that's okay, but
I start getting undressed. It's gonna be so nice. No, I'm just-
So,
Imagine you just jump head first.
It's fully armored.
Just kind of
mid jump?
take
Tickle,
your
tickle.
foot and just kinda tuck down.
So with a 24? With a 24, she's telling the truth. She, from the way she's describing it, you feel like she has been down there. She has taken this route to go in and come up to where you need to go. However, it's more difficult than she's making it out to be. So she's telling the truth, and it does sound like she has personal experience. But she is like, I hope you make it.
She's leaving out alive.
Riveting.
All right, well, let's go. Jump in. Make sure to hold my breath.
He is first. Who is next?
I am going to activate Ion Stones. And let's hope it stays. And I jump in.
Second.
Grab Ray on it. It's like, put my hand over it now first.
I don't want to go.
It'll be fun.
I don't want to go down the giant
Shoot my tongue out and I grab
I'm holding on to Perry.
Okay. Robbie's like, as you jump in, it begins to swirl and spiral. As Meryl produces burn, and she says, "Oh, I almost forgot." She slaps on the skull, or the jawbone to the skull. Ah! Finally, he says. Yeah, good luck. She throws him into the water. He goes, "No, you stupid!" As he dives into the water. You all begin to swirl and spiral into this bowl. As you are sucked down into the vortex.
This jacuzzi's really cold. Whoa, whoa.
And
Duh.
Oh shit.
No, that's what we are.
you will all start here next time. Thank you very much for joining us, adventurers. Remember that this has been a good day to die. See ya.